Our inaugural segment, Diplomat's Corner, we delve into the international community's view on the Philippines. And we begin with Australia's Southeast Asia economic strategy and key investment opportunities for the Philippines at a time of elevated tariffs as well as governance challenges. Our guest is the Australian ambassador to the Philippines, officially assuming the role last August. A seasoned diplomat, he has served as Australia's ambassador to Turkey, Iran, and Iraq. He also had previous postings in Thailand and the U.S. Please welcome Ambassador Marc Innes-Brown. So good to see you, Ambassador Marc. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Kathy. It's great to be here.
Has it been like? It's been 3 months since you took the role.
Well, it's been a very interesting 3 months, and what I have seen is that there's a lot going on between Australia and the Philippines, and there's also a lot of potential to do a lot more.
Let's take it from the perspective of the regional alliances, because the Philippines is right now trying to expand the regional alliances for security. And there is that defense cooperation agreement that both our nations are trying to work out. What's the latest on that?
Sure. Well, Australia and the Philippines have long had a military relationship which dates back to World War II. And in fact, just last week I was honoured to participate in 2 memorial services to mark operations at the end of the war in Tacloban and also in the Surigao Strait. So since then we've had cooperative activities. In 1995 we signed a cooperation agreement, and as a reflection of the expansion of defence ties in the meeting between our Defence Minister Richard Marles and the Philippines Defence Secretary just in August, we've decided we've signed a statement of intent to negotiate an updated defence cooperation agreement which reflects the enormous expansion of activity.
Took so long, since 1995.
Well, it was working well, but there's obviously a lot going on, and we decided we want to have more ambition and do more together.
That ambition and doing more together, to what would you attribute that, the motivations, and what do we get out of it for both nations?
Well, we're partners, and we're wanting to do more together to promote regional security, which is obviously a cornerstone of economic prosperity. So we've identified a number of areas. We want to be more interoperable. There's other areas that we can work together. So we're looking to do more.
What sort of areas then? I mean, we've just conducted the largest joint military exercise maybe about 2 months ago.
That's right.
Exercise Alon. What did we learn from there, and where do we go from here then? So
that was the second iteration of Exercise Alon, which happens every 2 years, and this exercise was an expansion of the inaugural operation, and it had cooperative activities in the air, on the land and at sea, and it was focused on working better together and learning those lessons. So I'm sure as we move forward to the next iteration in 2 years there'll be further activity, but there's a constant amount of cooperative activity, joint training exercises that go on throughout the year, which I've sort of noticed since I've been here.
And also military infrastructure projects, because as I understand, as we thresh out the Defense Cooperation Agreement, there are several military infrastructure projects that we're hoping to build together. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's an interest in doing more in that area. Yes, that was discussed during the Defence Ministers' meeting.
What sort of areas, and which points of maybe locations in the Philippines
well, that's still being negotiated between the parties, so I won't engage in speculation, but yeah, certainly that's an area that we wish to do more together, as well as the operational cooperation.
As that involves infrastructure projects, and given the governance challenges we face now, what sort of impact do you think that might have at the pace at which you'd want to engage with the Philippines in terms of defense cooperation?
Well, I don't think that's a factor at this stage, Kathy. I think we're moving ahead in that. We've got some senior officials visiting shortly, and they'll be taking forward those discussions as a follow-up to the ministerial discussions here that happened in Manila in August.
And in fact, we're trying to beat the deadline for the ASEAN hosting, because that's a big part of the cooperation, isn't it, to be able to help out. Do you think the timelines are still intact for that, for the Philippine hosting of the ASEAN?
Well, I haven't heard anything to the contrary. I understand there's going to be a large briefing next month where the Philippines government will tell all partners, including Australia, what their plans are for next year.
All right. Apart from defense cooperation, there's also trade and investment,
Sure.
and in various industries. What's the status of that, of the missions that we were hoping to bring in, given the governance challenges that we face? Is that kind of slowed or maybe even been delayed to next year?
No, there's no delay at all, in fact. So we've been working for the last 2 years. We promulgated a Southeast Asia economic strategy, and I was fortunate enough to be the lead author of this report when I was based in Australia. And the objective of this is to promote increased trade and investment between Australia and Southeast Asia, including the Philippines. And we've been working on that since. And we've supported a number of projects here in the Philippines. There's quite good trade growth as well. But just this week, I might add, as a sign of our ongoing commitment to this work, the Prime Minister Albanese announced when in KL 2 new significant investments to promote Australian investment in the region. One was $175 million in an investment fund run by IFM Investors, which is a major Australian institutional investor, and the other was $50 million in a fund set up by Plenary, which is a public-private partnership fund to promote investment. So there's been no slowing. In fact, the government's pushing ahead strongly.
And how do you sort that out? I mean, you've promulgated part of the economic strategy there, as you've shown us. How do you contextualize political risk? I mean, a lot of other ASEAN nations are facing it as well. We're not alone. But how do you contextualize that and still, come out thinking that the Philippines is a good place to invest?
Well, we take a long-term view, and I think most investors do take a long-term view. When we embarked on this project, as the title says, we're looking at the region out to 2040. So that's quite an expansive time, but we wanted to take a strategic approach to this, and investment decisions do take a long-term view, I'm sure. So that's the approach we're taking.
And is that the reason why it's defense cooperation first? Because we want to maintain peace, stability, and make sure rules of based order is instituted in the contested waters before business can really be made.
The two are not sequenced that way. We're pushing our bilateral cooperation here. There's a number of key strands. One of them is trade and investment, one of them is defence, one of them is civil maritime, and another is our our development cooperation program. So we're pushing forward on all of them at the same time. One is not contingent on the other.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. Are you spending Christmas here for the first time in your diplomatic career?
Yes, we'll be around here.
All right. I hope you enjoy it. It's the longest in the seasons.
Indeed.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. I much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Australian Ambassador to the Philippines, Marc Innes-Brown, in our Diplomats Corner.